and welcome to The Point. It is Friday, June 18th, 2021. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go to Fet Facebook pages. It is a pleasure to have you this morning. It is Friday, which means it is Open Line Friday here on To The Point. The landline number that you can call to share your thoughts, questions, queries, concerns, anything you think we need to be made aware of. If there are questions you'd like to ask, hopefully I'm able to answer them. Or if you would like to share your thoughts on anything that has been happening recently, the landline number 435-2041. The WhatsApp number, it's also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp, and you can post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Open phone line here on the program. Just a reminder of some of the things that have been happening this week. The announcement of the vaccine lottery, the industrial situation or the vaccine situation down at St. George's University. Yesterday, former investor and former ambassador at large Newfield reportedly filed a lawsuit against the government. That's in relation to the hotel in the South Kawana Bay construction. That investor. What else has been happening? Lots have been happening. Let me go to the first caller. Okay, lost that caller. All right, back to the reminding you of what else has happened this week. I have an update to give all just now. Following a circular that I saw this morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, go right ahead.
Yes, my first thing is the PCR test, the test people take like when they're traveling and so on. I hear a lot of people complaining. It's really too expensive. $400 and something for it, and it's really too expensive. I think, and especially they're telling people if you are fully vaccinated, you okay. When I say that, you kind of in a clear. So I find if you're fully vaccinated, they should have cut down the price of this thing, because it has somebody who have to they came for like 2 weeks. Well, not even good 2 weeks, and they paid up where they come from, and now they have to pay $810 to get a PCR test again in Grenada here, and they quarantine everything. They pay. My God, I find it's really, really too expensive.
They paid how much?
You have to pay $405 for the test.
Okay, I understand.
So two of them that was traveling, and they had to pay $810.
Got it.
And it's really, really too expensive. I think, and the Minister of Health, especially if people fully vaccinated, should have really cut down this. It's too expensive. Why Grenada? Everybody saying, Lord, when they come in Grenada, they have to have a shoulder, a arm, and a leg, everything to come in. It's too expensive. Thing really just too expensive. And my other thing is, this thing with Mr. Warren and, well, I was saying, and Dr. Keith, I think Dr. Keith should look for another way out. When I say another way out, maybe try to settle this thing before they reach in court. Because look at what happened to Grenlec thing and how much we have to pay. This country going down in too much debt. So before they have to spend all these millions of dollars for lawyers again, if he could just kind of humble and talk to the people and see if they could settle that thing, because it's really, really, really too much for Grenada now. And not too much for Grenada, too much for the young generation that's coming up. I think if people have a problem, sit down and see if they could settle it. Even though you vex and you're blowing up, you're fuming, but at time you must go down. So when you go down, try to see if they could settle it. When you see go back in court again, Blossom, is your child and my grandchildren have to pay. And I think they must really do it before they do as what happened in Grenlec. Have a good morning.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for your contribution. Good morning, caller.
Morning, my wonderful Blossom.
Morning.
I think fathers they come up and this Sunday coming up?
Yes, it is.
Well, it's not the fathers in the case, all the best in the case, I mean, and take care of the children and want them fathers on them. Mind the children. If the fathers give children their mind at all. It's a bad thing but fathers dealing with, just dropping children like little tadpole and go away when they get busy, they're my daughter and my son. Mind if I'm baby go right up, but mind children, it's easy to mind children. Because you can't cook the same pot or they cook eating and give children when they're small. They need nourishment to get big and to get strong and to go up healthy and to work for the nation. Asking fathers mind your children, father, just drinking rum and do not go wrong with the finance when they get paid. Mind your family, your children, when they get old, they will take care of you later on. Now, the gentleman who the business sector man from living in Green right now wants to sue the government right now. It wasn't Gary time. He and they put already go back where he come out already, you can't man go in Gary country in this one by Gary parking a plane one time. Man, you must be Gary put on Green when he was in power, when he behaved and like again, he put one pause. Now, concern China, listen to some news from China last night, concern mothers making more children, they want to go to population bigger than what it is right now in China. About 30 years ago, they stopped mothers from making, only give only one child, a family to make. And then they come with 2, now they come with 3. But the people complain and say, oh, they have to mind the children when they're small and different things, and they have to build a home and costly and whatnot. So I'm saying they ain't going to make the children at all in any case, So all the government China has to do, if you want the population to be big, for a little one time to come, because the population kind of aging right now. You want the young generation to take over. Mind them children from small. I'll let you build home for them people and then who need home. And mind the children, mind the child from baby right up until you just an age and thing. When you eat certain food, you could, it's no problem, they want to take that. But they want a bigger population right now, because they want the population they say have very aged right now. And by 2050, the population will be even bigger population by now. It's kind of hard, And they're up in space right now, too. They're up in space right now for 90 days in space, I think, right now. They sent up a spaceman, 3 spaceman right now. And the G7 have a plan for China. They want to stop China from spreading. And Russia from spreading. But I feel in this modern time, after Hitler time, they say Hitler was a wicked man, bad man, and he created a problem in the world. So I thought the modern leaders was coming over to be a better leader than Hitler. But now some of the leaders and them, they're no different to Hitler,
Okay.
They're the same tactical leader. Rule people, bully you down, even if you go my way, I deal with you. Is of the world all in back what they have. They have back in Cuba, in back in North Korea, in Iran, in Venezuela, in this. If you with me, is of the world, let the world free up for a while and see how you go on better.
Okay.
And sanction, we live in COVID time, hard time for all, every nation in the world, economy falling and things.
All right. Thank you very much. I meant to respond to the very first caller about the price of the PCR test. I would try to remember to ask the health officials next time they come on to the point about the cost or the rationale behind the cost of the PCR test. I remember this conversation happening when the initial testing started, and it recently resurfaced once again. So I would try or remind me, viewers and listeners are getting kind of old, I might forget, so remind me to ask the health officials about the rationale behind the cost of the PCR test so that they can explain. I'm trying to remember the memory that I have for the explanation. I'm trying to remember if I dream it or if that's what they said, so I'm not going to explain what I have in my mind. I'm just going to ask the officials when they get here. All right, let me go to YouTube. Take this down for Mr. Okay, yeah, somebody on YouTube is telling me to ask Minister Steele when he comes. He said, the person says, I am outside Grenada and can't sleep good. Pray for all is well with my family. Take this down, what the caller said. Take it down for Mr. Steele. I'll be on next Wednesday, so I'll remind you. Thank you very much, YouTuber, just in case. Back to the phone line. WhatsApp, I'll be there in a short while. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
Just 1 moment, please. Yes, sorry about that.
No problem.
A couple of things. First of all, the person that called about the dad's not minding the kids. Yesterday, I didn't witness, but I was in earshot of a very sad, very, very sad situation. I was stuck in my car because somebody had picked me. I couldn't move. But I was on Grenville Street, and there was this lady. She started quarreling, and there was a lot of shouting, and then she ended up in tears. I could hear her crying and saying, "He's not minding the child. He is not." I'm not sure if it was at the workplace of this man or the workplace of somebody concerning him, but it was sad, and I didn't want to see her because she was in public in the middle of town, and she was actually in tears, asking this guy to please mind his daughter. And these things are not supposed to happen. I was really touched. I didn't even want to see her, to be honest. I couldn't deal with that. I didn't want to even see that. But yes, my pet peeve, and it's been in the news many times. You have read it in the news many times, Blossom, most mornings, about that great opportunity we have with Soursop. I'm sure you remember reading it in the news on mornings, and sometimes you hear it in the evening. This thing makes me so sick. It makes me very sick. You know why? Because why is there such a great upsurge in interest in Soursop? Do you know why, Blossom? Because it is believed to have very good cancer fighting capabilities. That the world is getting crazy about Soursop. But if you follow the statistics, Grenada is one of the countries in the world with the highest rate of cancer. Now we have the greatest opportunity for growing Soursop, but we also have the highest rate of cancer. Yes, we're promoting Soursop for what purpose? For export. And people are even stealing people's Soursop to send overseas. No one is saying, let's work with the Food and Nutrition Council and the Ministry of Health. If there is any truth in this thing, let us find ways of preparing Soursop. So we can have recipes, we can have drinks, we can have all kinds of things with Soursop. Let's increase. But you're selling it for people over there who believe it's good, unless you don't believe it's good. So is it too good for us? If it's really good for cancer? This baffles me. I've not heard anyone say that we should encourage people to use it more. The other part of it is this, that if there is such a great demand for it, why don't we find a way? This is 2021. This is not 1921. Find a way to process it, do some value added, create some jobs locally, give the farmers better prices and all those things, and try to sell a finished product. I guess we're waiting until somebody out there does that, and we'll be lining up to import it back to use it for those people who have cancer. So to me, this whole thing is very bizarre, very, very bizarre. Okay. I don't blame the people in the ministry who are doing it. It is their job. They're not policy makers. They have to do what they're asked to do and do it as best as they can.
Okay.
But that makes absolute no sense in a country where people are dying of cancer at a phenomenal rate, and we're exporting the thing the world believes is the best thing for cancer and encouraging people to do it. Very, very strange.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You do the same. Thank you. Let me go to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, it's very hard to say this. We Grenadians want everything free, but we have nothing to support payment for the reagents, medications, etc. Please, people, stop voting for what you're complaining about so you won't have to cry over it and complain. Another WhatsApper says, yes, it should be $500 for the PCR test, $500 for passport, $5 for bus trip to Grandance, and $50 for the poor man's cylinder of gas. Seems no matter what people say or do, they are followers who will call and cuss you for your critique of this government. And gas price gone up by 10 cents. The thing tough. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Somehow I like the contribution the last caller made, and so much things in Grenada that could be used that he himself is not using, and he's a great, mighty educator and what have you, and he's not showing us how to do it. He's not spending his money to invest in those things. I'm a farmer, really. And I went to sell produce yesterday, nutmegs, and they paid me with a check. And I'm concerned about that because, you know, with all this rain, I could not have gone to change that check yesterday. And this has been happening for a while now. Now, the cooperative, they knows exactly when they're going to be purchasing nutmeg. I don't know. I have to call them and ask them when they will be purchasing nutmegs. But guess what? It is possible. It is possible. If it is a matter of security, they could get a police on the day that they know that they're purchasing nutmeg to guide the caches that they will have at the receiving station. So why is it after the farmer comes from the land and dirty and what have you, and then have to come to sell his produce and then to go stand up in a line in the rain to get his cash? I think this is very, very unfair. And the fact is, if the farmer sells over 100 pounds of nutmeg, he has to do that. And the point of the cocoa, he has to do that even though it is $50 or less. He has to do the same thing. I think it's about time that somebody say something. Somebody do something. I protested last time and they brought it to $300, and now they've brought it back to $100. Sell $100 worth of nutmeg, you have to go stand up in a line in the bank, and you stand in a line like anybody else to collect that after you would have had so much trouble in the field to get the nutmegs, rain, thunder, what have you, red ants and so forth. And then you still have to go in a line again for $100. I think this is very unfair, and somebody better do something about it quickly this time.
Have you raised the concern with the corporation?
I did. And they brought it to $300. When I raised it some time back, and they brought it to $300, and I felt glad. And then they bring it back down again to $100, which I find is very ridiculous, very unfair, and very ridiculous to the management of the cooperative. Now, the fact is that I think there's a move to amalgamate the two entities, cocoa and nutmeg, and the managements in those cooperatives, they are fighting tooth and nail to prevent that from happening when they are not managing the properties of the farmers properly, and they are trying to prevent, let's say, the government from making an effort to assist us in getting things done properly. They are not doing a good job in managing those two entities. And it's about time that something be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Caller? I don't know what course you can take. Maybe once again, share your concerns with the cooperative, and maybe even get some more farmers as well to join your fight, join your cause. Maybe the more voices they hear, then they may adjust the way they do things. So let me go to Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, tell the nurses to be more gentle when doing the COVID-19 test. I've heard that complaint as well. Some of the nurses are a bit harsher than others. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Good Blossom.
Morning, how are you?
Well, just taking it easy and listening and learning, so let us go right away right now. Listen, the woman that complain and say about too expensive. I mean, the point is, my point is, when you can afford something, leave it alone. Don't go after it, right? And let us go with the vaccine business. Then we'll go in for business in a while after. With this vaccine business, right, I don't understand much, but with the lotto making a gamble with $10,000, right, that we put a get, right? But with me, I take one already, and next week Thursday, I want to take the next one, and a man gives me $300 to take the vaccine, and taking the vaccine is not effect to the body, right? So I go and take the vaccine in one mind, and when I come back, I get me $200, I bring me birth certificate and my ID card, right? So in other words, I get me money already, so I have to go and take the next one. So the $10,000, if I'm lucky, God smile on me, I might get it. So let us go with the fathers now. People say about father mining that child and this and that and all them kind of thing. I mean, fathers have a lot of blame to get, because when the mother take that child and the children and they go, right, the father might scrape and get the last money and give them, and when the father give the child mother the money, the child mother go and spend the money somewhere else. So the father still have a bad name. With me now, my father never mind me, right? The only thing I get for him $40 are shoes and a pants, right? And when I get the $40 and the shoes, when I get the $40 and the pants, that time I was an adult, right? He just give it to me. I get the shoes as a minor. I was 9 years at the time, right? So when they say about fathers, they mining child, and when them mother take the child and go, take what they get and according to it, make it do, right? So then Sunday coming Father's Day, I will say Happy Father's Day to everybody, and also me too. So Miss Blossom, have a nice day, and after the next caller, back to you on the air.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bido. Appreciate you. Happy Father's Day to you and all the fathers as well. Appreciate you, Mr. Bido. Let me go to YouTube. Somebody on YouTube says, manufacturing has never been a priority of this government nor the NDC. It is such a shame. Another YouTuber says, the caller is ignorant. Why talk? Not Mr. Bido, I think is the previous caller. Why talk about the man's education and money as if he knows something about the man's financial standing? Government has an obligation to provide the enabling climate to do business. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, my dear Blaster. I'm going to second chance again.
Okay, 1 minute.
We are the Western system. We run green for all years, the Western way of life, Western system. I think that we could let everybody take part in building Grenada. Everybody ideas, everybody force, everybody vision, how foolish my man might be. Why talking might be sensible to certain people, but some people go to university that it degrees to them know their own country better than everybody who simple and ordinary. Turn green around. Bring green modernized. We need 21st century. We have computer, we have a laptop, and phone on them, but still foresight they ain't much in it. Change that around. Pay people money weekly, fortnightly, and daily. A man work with you till they pay one time. Bring the union together, business people and government, and turn green around. This long time thing, this mounting. That killing green and making green get zungu, dead and crampy, like your life and all.
Okay.
Turn green around, bring green modernized. People money weekly, fortnightly, and a man working to the pay one time. A man working for a whole week, Monday to Friday, and when Friday come, you can still pay you.
Okay.
Let's do.
Thank you very much. Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says the main mission of the Prime Minister is to destroy the country. He just doesn't care about people, only to win elections. Another Facebooker says, great observation, Mr. Bernard. Our policymakers need to be innovative and demonstrate an interest in the citizens' well-being. And another Facebooker says, in relation to the caller before Mr. Bernard, in relation to the farmer, some of the concerns should be forwarded to the cocoa and nutmeg boards. Good morning, caller.
Yes, darling. I'm on my cell phone this morning because my phone is not working. But I just wanted to let Grenada know we are living in the latter days, and all the things that we are complaining about and what the Bible says would happen in the last days. So we need to repent. We need to ask God to forgive our sins and to get ready for His coming. The Lord wants to get the people together, those who profess to know Him but not living right. This is the time to get right and to live for Jesus, because He's coming for a clean church. He says He must not have spot, wrinkle, or blemish. So prepare to meet God. Grenada, this is your time to repent, and God is calling the nation to repentance. Many persons have sent messages to the PM telling him what God says to him. what he had in his heart. Well, God will deal with him. But every Grenadian need to know that God is looking over this country. He saved us from the COVID, and we're pretending that he is not God, is man. But we better remember, except we repent, we shall all likewise perish. God bless you, Blossy.
Thank you, Ms. J. You too. Have yourself a good one. All right, let me go by WhatsApp. It's been a while for WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, good morning. The winner of the vaccine lottery has already been decided. I ain't taking part in that one. Don't try to put me in problems. Are you saying that the vaccine lottery is rigged? Well, the National Lotteries Authority is overseeing the proceedings. So therefore, you're accusing government and lotto of setup. Nah, man, don't try to trick me. I ain't taking part. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, I want to ask the government if there is only one taxi association in Grenada. No. The short answer is no. Immediately, at least three comes to mind. So no. Another WhatsApper. The people in Grenada are having hard times and things are becoming more and more expensive, especially food. Why doesn't the government initiate the free barrel for at least 6 months to help Grenadians? This $10,000 vaccine lottery will not go to those who really need it. You never know. The Lord works in mysterious ways. Anything is possible. On that note, let's take a quick break and then we're going to come back with some more open line here on To The Point. We'll be right back.
It's time to line virtually one more time. Gemma Rayburn Baines here for Spice Island Cultural Festival, a celebration of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. This summer's festival is a celebration of life with food, fashion, music, and culture. Join us online Saturday, July 10th, 3 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube at Spice Island Cultural Festival. Info, spiceislandculturalday.com.
Do you hear what I hear? Listen to the ocean, and you will hear a cry for help. The ocean is hurting, and we are the source of the hurt. But we can stop and start to heal our ocean by preventing pollution from getting into our waterways. It can start with you. Join an active organization, or better yet, make a personal commitment. Commit not for just one day in the year, but for the rest of your life. Let's dispose of our plastic and other waste responsibly, and let's start building resilience. Let the healing begin.
This message is brought to you by the OECS Commission with funding from the Government of Norway. Remlit, tackling ocean pollution from turf to surf.
Hello, Grenada. This is Albert Dubai Richards from Radio Antilles. Join me this Friday from 8 p.m. along with Jeff Aird and the We Culture team as we go back to the days of great radio programming. Grenada, don't miss it, all right?
Welcome back to The Point. It's Open Line Friday here on the program. Once again, the landline number 435-2041. The WhatsApp number is also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp, and you continue to post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on Facebook and YouTube. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How you do?
Excellent. And good morning to the listening public. So I want to talk a bit on the gasoline. Gas has moved from 1584 to 1594.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Blossom, you know what surprised me? When you look at the condition of the road, Blossom, and motorists having to go up all the way, for example, in that Mount Morris Road there, from Molyneux, it costing motorists a lot. They burn fuel to go up all this hill and come back down, and no one complaining. Not even the bus drivers talking about that. The trucks again have to go all the way inside of Willis and Grenville, that hill up there. What are these people doing? They just sit down idly by and allowing this government to take advantage of them. Because it's sickening. It's costing us a lot as motorists. And they just keep putting up on the gas every month or during the month. I can understand everybody just sit down, taking everything down their throat. They're not protesting, they're not demonstrating or talking about what the government is doing. I think that Mitchell should step down because they are not managing the country the way I think they are to. Look at the court is in the stadium. Look at the road conditions. The 4% with the teachers. I think he should step down. That's all I want to say.
Thank you very much, caller. All right, thank you. Let me go to YouTube. A YouTuber says the COVID vaccine situation at SGU is an issue for the opposition leader to write to the ILO, International Labour Organization, and other international organizations concerning the breach of basic human rights. The COVID test is too expensive on Grenadians' back, and I am sure the machine to conduct the PCR test was donated. The donated part, no, I believe it was purchased. I don't think the PCR machine was purchased by government. I remember last year when they were saying that they have ordered it and it was in transit, and so it was purchased. It wasn't donated. The PCR, the testing equipment, the lab equipment for the PCR tests. Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says the cost of the PCR test is $405, and in America it is at least $150 US, which is equivalent. It can even go up to US $300 in some states. All right, let me go by WhatsApp. Facebook are coming back. WhatsApp. Remember, tomorrow is June. Yes, I highlighted that this morning, that tomorrow, God willing, is the 41st anniversary of the bomb blast at Queen's Park, June 19th, 1980. All right. Somebody else on WhatsApp says the nutmeg and cocoa issue that caller is alluding to can be discussed with Senator St. Clair when he comes on a program next time. That is something you can also raise with Senator Roderick St. Clair, the farmer and fisherfolk representative in the Senate. I do not have a number for him, but I can share his email address with you. Hopefully you have access to email. The email address for the agriculture senator is agrisenatorgd@gmail.com. So that's for the farmer with the issue with the checks that they are issuing. agrisenatorgd@gmail.com. Send him an email, share your concerns with him, and he would most likely address it. He has been very forthcoming and very cooperative with farmers when they share their concerns. So I'm sure if it's something he can handle, he will definitely deal with it for you. So again, agrisenatorgd@gmail.com. Another WhatsApper says, does anyone have an update or information regarding the students studied in Cuba? Information is circulating that things are rough for them and they are not hearing from the ambassador. I have not seen issues with our students in Cuba. So I'll see if I can find something. All in all, I always have to go and look to help. So I'll scour and inquire and see what I can find out about those concerns if there are any. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How you do?
I'm fine, thank you as well.
No, hold on. Sorry, caller. It's not I'm good now. What was the word of the day this morning? I'm tickety boo. Tickety boo. Lovely. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. What I want you to do for me, please. Can you please get one of the liars to come on your program as on a morning time to the point and discuss the ICCPR general commitment, what the Grenada government signed on human rights? Because they seem to be pushing that injection. I watched the issue with SU. But we all have a right, just as the government will have the right to push for the injection. And Nicholas Steele is saying one thing on the side of the mouth, and the government is doing one thing. I need to get a lawyer to come and explain, please, for me, the ICCPR general commitment, what the Grenada government signed, I think it's in 1991, on human rights. I've been looking at it online presently, but need some more explanation on that, please. So can you please get a lawyer who have the information to explain that for us, please? Thank you. I would like that.
Thank you, caller. I will see what I can do. I am not sure which legal professional I can approach, but I'll see what I can do, caller. Okay, somebody came to mind. I'll see what I can do, caller, in relation to the ICCPR. I just fall on something. Somebody said something to the right on YouTube. Somebody on YouTube says, when you compare the coronavirus test with Jamaica and Grenada, it is cheaper to get tested in Jamaica because in Jamaica it'll cost you 127 EC to do the test. In Grenada it is $405. Facebook, somebody says, I heard a few returning nationals at an entity complaining about the technique of a nurse doing the COVID test at the airport, as they've explained it as if she is pushing the swab in their brains. I have also seen that not just specifically the nurse at the airport or nurses at the airport, people who have been tested have complained that they feel like the swab is going into their brains. But there are some who say it was a gentle procedure. So I guess it is the nurse or the medical assistant that is carrying out the test. Maybe even the mood of said medical assistant. Because if I want to take out my rage on somebody, sorry to say, but up your nose might be the victim. WhatsApp. Let me go back by WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, because someone's father was a no daddy, we should not use that as a standard. The standard we use to hold fathers up to their obligation should not be the lowest common denominator. You make a valid point. Not all fathers leave much to be desired. There are some daddies who daddy very well, exceptionally. There are some daddies who do that. I guess it's because we really mostly hear about those that are not acceptable. That's what we hear of most of the time. Once or twice you'll hear about somebody praising daddy, but not all the time, unfortunately. All right, another WhatsApper says, Grenada needs Jesus. COVID ripping apart the world, and we are not even nationally seeking God's face for his mercy and protection from the leaders of the land. Then again, most of the vaccine promoters have their cut to get, and they are mostly paid of the Freemasons, who are all jointly supporting and working toward the start of the New World Order. Jesus, take the wheel. Phone lines, no. Back to WhatsApp. Somebody else on WhatsApp says we are complaining that people not complaining in this country, and the Prime Minister should step down because we're not complaining enough. Wow. I see what you did there, WhatsApper. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom, and good morning to your listening audience. Blossom, in Jamaica, they use the Jamaican dollars. So I would like to know the 127 EC that it cost them in Jamaica. When you calculate that into Jamaican dollars, I want to know if it is lower than what we charge in here. The other point is, Blossom, the truck drivers, the bus drivers, they're using the same road that this gentleman talk about. If they're not complaining and you're complaining, why are you worrying that they are not complaining? Maybe they are not complaining because they don't have the same problem you got, sir. And the thing is that, Blossom, we are not asking the government and the Keith Mitchell administration to step down. And the reason why, based on the time that we are living in, based on the present pandemic and the present world crisis that exists as we speak, when we look at the rest of the world, we are glad to live in Grenada. As far as we are concerned, when we look at the rest of the world, this same Keith Mitchell administration in Grenada would have done extremely well in terms of protecting the country and its citizens. And that's the reason why we're not asking them to step down. We are also not asking them to step down because there is no organized alternative that gives us the impression that we can ask what we have to go. We cannot ask what we have to go because we are not sure about what we're going to get. Blossom, have a pleasant weekend.
Thank you very much, caller. You enjoy your weekend as well. All right. The cost of the test, 127 EC dollars is equivalent to 7,068 Jamaican dollars, 7,068 and 63 cents Jamaican dollars. That's the equivalent. YouTube. Start over. I would like to know why is it that when people take the COVID-19 vaccine, magnets can stick to the part where it was given, and that is facts. I have proof. YouTuber, that fact that you speak about in inverted commas, it has been proven to be untrue. For those of you who may not be aware, there were videos and pictures going around of people saying they've gotten the COVID-19 vaccine and magnets. They put magnet onto the site and it sticks. It has been proven that it is not so. Actually, just maybe it was 2 weeks ago, some people went to one of the court proceedings in the U.S. to prove that, what's the word I'm looking for? To prove that it sticks, and they failed. And it has been deduced that the videos and pictures circulating have been fabricating. One of the points that they've made is that you have to have a significant amount of metal in the vaccine shot for the magnet to stick to your arm or stick to the site. However, the dose of the vaccine that is being administered is not enough for there to be that many metal pieces to say that it's a possibility. The COVID-19 vaccine doses, I believe they said it was less than a milliliter, and you would need much more than that for there to be enough metal, if there was metal in the shot, that is. There isn't, according to the manufacturers. If there was metal in the vaccine dose, you would need much more than less than a millimeter for it to be able to attract magnets. So that claim has been debunked. YouTuber. Somebody on YouTube says everything in Cuba gone up, cost of living, and I'm not surprised. No fault of the students and the government. All right, let me go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom. There's
morning.
so much I to speak about. For one, certainly we have to pay attention to if there's any truth about the situation with students in Cuba, as in any other country. We should pay attention and attend to whatever is required, whatever contribution or help that the country could make as a whole. That's one. The point of, and your first caller, I really wanted to really agree with her and those, not necessarily the call she makes, but the concern. In terms of, once you go through that procedure that the gentleman, the System by Investment gentleman, it will require Grenada to respond, and that is very, very costly. That's the reason why they didn't participate with a case against Taiwan. They explained. And now we are going into that. So they talk about maybe the party here that represent us would sort of humble himself and so on. But I want to tell her that would never happen. It would never happen because the person, the individual doesn't have the capacity to apologize or to accept responsibility. The history has shown that. So that's the next one. In terms of the vaccine, I mean, it's bad again. When, we have not, and we wait, and we don't want people to ask the hard question, and then it's a quick what is called a song might stop. We have to have people to understand, not because, some people might choose to be foolish. That means all of us are foolish. We need to have real conversation, and that's how people grow. No real conversation, just slamming in your face some piece of propaganda and then accusing you of being some madman and so on. So we need to have conversation on that because there's so many wide angles to this thing. But even in the meantime, we could do ourselves a good favor. Behave responsible, and to me, the majority of people in this country are irresponsible. Majority of us. Look how people behaving. No wearing masks, nothing. People, doing the very thing that is said would cause the spread of the thing. We're doing that. And then, of course, those who have to commute, and I'm limited in that, have to, when they go on the buses, it's like they are choosing to commit suicide. So let's get things straight here first. Let's get the minimum thing we can do, and then we could work on the vaccine thing. But you see, they want to do the vaccine as a lazy way out. A quick thing, so you say we vaccine everybody, so let's do the nonsense. The other thing about it, Bassam and Alan here, we are looking for a normal. But there will never be a normal again. They will never think. We have to start using our brains creatively, as Cleavy was saying. We have to be creative. We're not creative. We're still waiting on Uncle Tom and Uncle Sam to send out to make some way for us. We have to start creating our way. And we can't do it alone. We have to do it all of us together. And that requires some respect, tolerance, and cooling down a bit. Thanks.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for your contribution. Let me go to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says... Wow, okay, hold on. Okay, no, I can't read that. I do have no information on that. Somebody on WhatsApp says, we were saying God is a Grenadian, then came Ivan. If we don't do what we ought to do, then COVID, not wishing, not hoping, might pay us a visit. Another WhatsApper says the many $450 the government has been charging for the PCR test should already overpay for the machine cost. The price should be reduced for the test. Another WhatsApper says one hospital in the USA demanded all workers get vaccinated. The workers took the hospital to court and lost. They are now appealing. Let me go back by Facebook. A lot of comments. Somebody on Facebook says, if people are fully vaccinated before they enter Grenada, why can't the price of the PCR test be dropped? It can be an incentive for more Grenadians to visit home, resulting in revenue for the country. On the flip side, Facebook, it could be an incentive for Grenadians to visit home, but it can also be a discouragement for Grenadians or visitors to return home because they're coming from places where COVID rampant. Think about it. We have Grenadians all over the world. If the price is deterring them, it might be a good. That way we know they can't come with the virus. So you had two sides on that fence. Think about it, caller. Facebooker, think about it. Back on YouTube, somebody on, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't want Grenadians come home. I am expecting a very loved one soon. But I'm just saying. A YouTuber says the issue why people are not taking the vaccine is poor education. Big facts. Big facts, and I think the onus is on all of us to educate ourselves and not wait for the officials to do so. That is the next thing too. A lot of people, I remember being in a conversation with a group of people saying the ministry needs to do more to educate us on the vaccine, but that same ministry are the officials that we don't trust. So even if they come with the information, we still entrust the information. So don't wait on the ministry if you don't trust the ministry. Understand what I'm saying? That's us. And then when they come with it, he lied, we don't trust him. Do your own research if you don't trust the messengers. Good morning, caller.
Morning, how you doing?
Morning, I'm good. I'm Tickety Boo. How are you?
I'm good.
All right, go right ahead.
So it's amazing to see that in Grenada here that we have 150,000 people, because we have a lot of Chinese here right now, and we have a lot of different nations like Syrians, and I think all of them have nationality. But we just can't depend on the government for everything. We have to help the government too. We are more than the government people. You understand? Everything we run to the government for. Let me try and help the government, and we'll have a better government every living day in Grenada. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. All right, back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Morning, greetings, Mr. Blossom.
Greetings, how you do?
I'm holding on, I'm watching and listening, you know.
All right,
now, my part this morning is that I'm in solidarity with the workers of St. George's University. And my reason most of all for that is we had a situation down there one time when we had some night differential contention until they bring the case all in Dominica to try until we end up with nothing. Now, I say all that to say now, the people that pushing the vibes that the people should take the injection, the vaccine or injection, or you call it, so they could continue working. These people didn't push for us when we was struggling, when we was crying out on the air that we need some to look into St. George's University to help the people that work so hard, and when they should get what is contractually signed disappear on us, and then they just Brother Chester and we government side with them and show us apart. How come now they have so much emphasis in that the people should go through that process when they didn't see and put no emphasis at all in helping us that work so hard through the night? They never study us. I say all that, Sister Blossom, but you see, our people have to get it right. We're living in a world that what we see is what we see. What we hear is what we hear. A lot of things we don't really know. When we think we are the done one, sometimes it might be those that make all the chemical warfare business and contaminating the air. It might be they are the done ones. You see, so sometimes when we putting ourselves in a position where people want us to believe and go the way they want us to go, the history of our life in this world from whence, even as black people, when we look from whence we came and the treatment that we get, even up to this day, our leaders are still branding us like how in the colonial masters' time, this symptom is in all of our leaders, hence the reason why they function the way they function. They don't see the people, they don't see the reason for taking the people out of the slavish mentality. In the schools, they dope us. They dope us with what they taught us. You know what I'm saying? In the church, they dope us with what they taught us. In every aspect, they have us like that, and we're dividing ourselves more than how they divide us to rule us. It's time that we wake up and realize we can't stop death. Death is inevitable. And if some taking it and die, some take it and live. The coroner come, he taking some, he living some. And it will be so until the power of nature destroy it to the standard. Then the people who deserve to live rightful will continue. Give thanks, my sister. Bless.
Give thanks, my brother. Bless. Thank you very much, sir. All right, let's start to wind down the program. YouTube. Somebody on YouTube says people were not treated with enough respect because some people are afraid of vaccine, and health professionals must be careful in their tone and messages. I am not sure if the Minister of Health ever sold a car at his family business, but the way he spoke to Grenadians in encouraging them to take the vaccine came across forceful and commanding. Another YouTuber says, can you organize a program with some students in Cuba for next Friday, if you can do so? All it is ask some things that sometimes is really be beyond my control. I am not sure if I can organize with some of our Cuba students, our students in Cuba. First of all, I don't know. Well, maybe I can start with the ambassador if I can. I'll see what I can do, YouTuber. I don't even know who are our students in Cuba to know that I can reach out to them on Facebook in the first place. But I'll let me see. Lord. Somebody on Facebook notes that some of our students are expected to return home soon, as early as next month. Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, Blossom, can you please give the cost of a PCR machine? Okay, hold on. Hold on, I'll look for it just now. In the meantime, somebody on the farmer that called early in the program in relation to the concerns with the check. Senator St. Clair is currently on our Facebook program, and he made a comment that during the early days of COVID in Grenada, when GCNA was starting buying, they paid cash up to $300 to reduce the amount of farmers having to go to the bank and creating crowding and social distancing issues. As the country worked toward normalcy, GCNA has reverted to what originally existed, with checks being made for $100 upward. This is the explanation you can share with your listeners. So what Senator St. Clair, or what I'm getting here, Senator St. Clair, is that was the practice even prior to COVID-19 of issuing checks for $100 upward, but still, considering we're still in COVIDious times and the banks and so on and so forth, maybe we can revert to the next option of cash. I don't know. Maybe it's something you can consider, you can think about. The person inquiring about the cost of a PCR machine, according to trusted Google, a PCR machine can run anywhere from $15,000 US to $90,000 US, 90,000 US. So anything in between that can be the cost of the machine. Depends, of course, on the brand, the model, and so on and so forth. I'm not sure the cost government paid for the one that we are using. All right, let me read one more comment on Facebook. Right. Somebody on Facebook says, I'm tired of hearing these people saying there is no alternative, so I'm thinking when Prime Minister Mitchell passes, the country will stop run. That's the end of somebody on Facebook says, I have metal in my knee and it does not attract magnetic objects. So if the intentional metals are not, then the unintentional is. I will say this, stop believing everything you see on internet. Pictures, videos, these things can be altered. Coming from somebody who works in the media, they are such advanced equipment these days, anything can happen and be altered, and tricks and skills. TikTok is viral for doing all kind of things, so just be careful with with the information you digest and believe. That's going to be the end of Open Line Friday here on To The Point. It's 10 o'clock on the dot. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Appreciate your listenership, your viewership, your time. That's the end of my day. That's the end of my week here at the GBN. I'll be back Monday morning, God willing. Be safe. Continue to practice the COVID-19. Continue to do. The COVID-19 protocols are in full effect. Be safe. If you can't be safe, then stay home. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. Joseph is up next with Mid-Morning Buzz, everybody. Bye-bye.